Welcome to Exploring Mystère, where presence meets enchantment and the unseen stirs into existence. I'm Stephanie Foley, your guide into the wilds of wonder, where curiosity meets intuition, embodied wisdom, and ancient mystery systems. Each episode opens a portal. Our creative alchemy and our embodied transformations are the threads of subtle magic that we weave into our everyday lives. And it's this cosmic dream weaving, the way that we create worlds. So, take a breath. Let your senses soften. Suspend disbelief and enter with me into the mystery. What happens when we stop speaking the names of our oldest treasures? What are our oldest treasures? I'm not talking about crowns with gems. I'm talking about words. The words that shape our lives, that shape our souls. Words like integrity, courage, devotion. Are these words becoming relics of the past? I want to introduce this idea of a reverent lexicon. Re-enchanting the soul of language. Let's revive vanishing words that once gave shape to the human spirit. The usage of these words like honor, reverence, are dropping significantly. According to The Economist in 2007, the decline of abstract nouns was measured in political speeches. In 2021, through Frontiers of Psychology, they decided that abstract values were harder to learn and use. And in 2023, Nature talked about the illusion of moral decline being this ancient thing, but actually usage of language does seem to shape consciousness. So when we have a cultural and language drift, because we live in a world of technology, and I love technology, so please don't mishear me. I think that emojis and condensing our language in certain situations is so beneficial. We're coming closer and closer to a universal language where we can better understand each other. But at the same time, I also want to keep the nuance and depth of these other words that just aren't conveyed well in texts or memes, or they're not picked up by the algorithms because we want brevity and clarity and emotional immediacy. Those things are important too. I want us to have balance and have both. So, words like integrity carry a weight and a complexity that just isn't going to come through a text message as well, or any kind of social media. And the words that are used tend to be sort of manipulated into this market-driven lexicon. Like authenticity feels like it would be one of those reverent lexicon words, reverence lexicon. But because we hear about authenticity so much in marketing, it's kind of losing its meaning. So sometimes our words are kind of, they get diluted because they're used in a certain way. Another thing that's happening is a great distrust of institutions, things that are ingrained and entrenched. So especially words like honor and duty, we might be feeling like honor and duty to what, and really questioning using discernment, which we should. Hallelujah to all of us for using more discernment about where do we place our honor and duty. But let's not throw out all honor and duty just because they've traditionally been associated with things that are now currently changing. Language does change our consciousness, and in many ways in the last 50 years, an enrichment of emotional language, a rise of relational language has helped us become better people, better communicators, and have better relationships. Words to help us describe the trauma, boundaries, self-regulation, emotional intelligence, relationship dynamics. these things have created a language fluency around the emotional realm that didn't used to exist. So that evolution has been a very welcomed, important healing, increase of self-awareness. So much gold has come from that. And at the same time, I wonder about words like, well, when's the last time you used the word honor or devotion or courage? Are these words part of your daily vocabulary? Are they important to you? What do they mean to you? So I thought it might be fun to do a challenge, a summer challenge of 12 vanishing value nouns for the summer, which we call the season of bloom and Bellfire in the Moonfeather Hollow magical mythos. There are roughly 12 to 13 weeks between the summer solstice and the autumnal equinox. So it's a perfect time to do a challenge like a word of the week. And so try to use one of these 12. I'm going to give them to you now verbally, but I'll also paste them in the description so that you can cut and paste them into a notes for yourself sometime, or write them into your calendar, or however you want to proceed. Okay, word number 1. And I intentionally chose as summary of words as possible. Vitality is word number 1. And by vitality, it's so much more than energy. It's our soul deep life force. Audacity. Courage to be seen and take leaps. Joy. Presence with things, energy, and ideas that bring you delight. Generosity, giving from overflow, not obligation. Devotion, love with commitment. Reverence, our reverent linguistics. Reverence, attending to, a sacred attention. Integrity, an internal alignment, a sense of wholeness. Courage, acting with your heart. Cor comes from, I think it's Latin for heart, and it doesn't mean without fear. Acting, being afraid and doing it anyway is an act of courage. Delight is a sensory celebration. It's along the lines of joy, but slightly different. Delight. It's got a tickle to it. Playfulness. That is the portal to innovation. We innovate through play. It's fun. It's enlivening. Playfulness. Enthusiasm. Divine excitement, right? Because to be enthusiastic, enthu means in God, like God within. We'd have to look at the root words. I love looking at root words. That's another fun thing I do. And that one, I believe that's what that means. And expression would be our 12th word. Expression, creative soul speaking from the heart and soul speaking. Creative, not just speaking, expression. Expression. Some of these maybe need motions instead of language to describe them, right? Well, anyway, here's the Reverent Lexicon practice. So choose one of these 12 words and speak it out loud. Remember a time that you embodied it, or try to embody it. Like, what does that word feel like? Where do you feel it in your body? Does it resonate somewhere with you? You can journal, reflect, or do some creative act. Try to dance with the word, collage with the word. Use it in your daily language. Journal with it. Have I missed anything? In other words, try to express maybe a pose, a stance that would convey that word, like courage or reverence, devotion. You see what I mean? Like, get into a pose that expresses it. So start whenever you like. You can start this week if you want, and that way if you miss a week, you've got plenty of time. Have fun with it. Play with it. Share your reflections and stories. We want to hear about any artwork that maybe a word has inspired. And then amusing to take with you to contemplate are words weathervanes. Listen to the words being used around you in your daily life, in the people you associate with, or the sites and communities you visit the most often online and in person, and ask if the language being used reflects the societal weather, if your own language reflects your internal weather, if the language people use seems to be reflecting their internal weather. Like, for example, if you never hear the word integrity being used, question and wonder about, is integrity still something we value? And I'm not saying there's any right or wrong answers here. We're just musing on these things because perhaps it's taken on a nuanced, different flavor, and maybe we need some new words and new descriptors to describe what we're seeing. Maybe there's new terms we haven't yet honored, clear names for what you're seeing, but we have to start with the musing. And so I'm curious, how does the use of words inform your daily life? Play with these musings and see, and let us know. Thank you for joining me on this journey through exploring Mystère. Remember, you don't have to solve all the mysteries. You only have to wonder what happens when you invite enchantment into your life. Wisdom is always near, shimmering in the spaces between thought and form. So if you felt something stir within you, follow it. I'd love to hear about your dreams, synchronicities, and questions that are part of this living field we are co-creating. To explore further, you can visit us at moonfeatherhollow.com for courses, coaching, and lunar tools like our Dream War of Moonlit Alchemy. This is our guided journal for dream weaving and intuitive reflection. And if exploring Mystère feels like home, please share it with a fellow seeker or leave a review. Your voice is part of the living field. Until next time, may you walk gently with the mystery and let the shimmer show you the way.